Let me start with one sentence that I heard more than once in Swiss private banking. There is no sanction hit. We are fine. That is exactly the moment when the biggest risk for the bank begins. And today I want to talk about the real risk, the sanction risk, and mostly related to Russia related sanctions because they have changed completely after 2022 our lives and compliance in the banking sector. So in this episode you will learn, number one is what is typical risk related to sanctions? 2, what can you do? 3, what is the best compliance answer in terms of protecting the bank and provide equilibrium to compliance and to the sanction risk. My name is Ralf Ebert. I'm the compliance coach, 25 years of experience in the banking sector. I'm here to guide you thinking and impacting compliance differently. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Compliance Coach. Today we are talking again on sanctions. I did it already last year. The Russia conflict still is very important, and before I go into the details, one very important topic. Switzerland is neutral from a political perspective. It is not neutral from a sanction perspective. Sanctions are criminal law. This is not like practical guidance, best practice, supervisionary expectations. It is criminal law, meaning any kind of violation makes you as a compliance officer or the bank criminal liable. So that's very important before we start now with the episode. Now let's have a look back. Before 2022, in Swiss private banking, Russian relationships were already considered as, from a reputational risk, as sensitive, but still manageable. First of all, look into it. Is there a hit? Yes or no? After 2022, the whole thing became completely different. Why? Because the aspect of being sanctioned or not was not the only part. So suddenly we had to look into long-standing relationships. We had to understand better the setup of complex structures, the activity, the counterparts related to these clients, transactional patterns and changes of it, and all under extreme time pressure in terms of saying, is our client yes or no? Practically speaking, however, the problem is much more complicated than you think. Therefore, I've prepared a short business case. So picture this, we have a client who is 100% owner of a holding company. Russian account opening was done before 2022. Company itself, the holding one, has 60% in an operating company with co-investors at the kind of account opening, no sanction hit, perfect. Now, in the times after 2022, one of the co-investors is sanctioned on the list. You run your system, you run your transaction monitoring, and you find still on your client, no sanction hit. On the holding company, no sanction hit. So you could still come out as a compliance officer by saying, we are clear and we're good. Really? The real questions and where really compliance deserves merits is when they come up in terms of having this kind of deep dive analysis, determining in how far the bank does provide any kind of assistance, economic benefits, directly, indirectly, to the whole structure and as well the sanctioned person. And what does that mean? That does mean that you cannot stop only at the holding level or at the banking relationship with your UBO. You need to deep down in terms of what's the percentage of the co-investors, what's the influence, where's the activity, where are the counterparties coming from, meaning what kind of payments are to be done. And that can be very difficult, especially if you don't have the operating company under your umbrella, meaning having a banking relationship with this one. What are the exit possibilities? And that kind of analysis you need to do fast, quick and precise, because it depends on that whether yes or no you go forward with a sanction notification or not. So that's then the real point when compliance equilibrium and the protection of the bank sets in. Picture this. In these kind of situations, what's important? What is a good compliance reaction? A good compliance reaction is a quick fact-finding attitude where you gather all the information, analysis from transaction monitoring, negative news, ownership controls, org charts, put that into a perspective and provide that to the necessary decisive committee body within the bank in the shortest period of times. In the meantime, you do preventive measures like asset freeze, special controls and sanction watch analysis on the participating clients, in order of demonstrating, and from a documentary part, that you had everything under control. Is that in terms of pleading the regulators? No, not in the first view. In the first view, it's in terms of defending your situation and defending your client. And then compliance can play a good role in terms of, yes, we still can continue certain kind of transactions and activities, but under which kind of restrictions, or by saying this is absolutely a not-go. Then really compliance plays its game. And take, for instance, when then the Swiss sanction authority steps in and will ask you the questions. They will not ask you what kind of tool did you use. They will ask you, what did you do at what time? Who was leading the investigations? Where did you look in? What were your results? What were the alternatives that you took into considerations? Did you already emphasize on kind of any preventive measures? Finally, he took the decision, and where is the documentation for all of that? So this is when a bank can demonstrate that it does not remain neutral with regard to sanction risks, but that it takes it seriously. And in this regard, once again, compliance equilibrium and the banking equilibrium becomes a real advantage for the bank. Thank you very much for joining for this episode on the sanction risk, especially with the focus on Russia. Two main takeaways. Number one is sanction risk in Swiss private banking is a criminal risk, not just tick the box exercise or compliance checklist and goodbye. And number two is there is not a meaning for no sanction risk equals to there is no risk at all. Go deeper and have a look. And in particular for compliance, that is the moment where compliance functions can really demonstrate their good understanding of the business, their good understanding of the sanctions and the protection of the bank in terms of their liability, directly and indirectly, and where really the kind of compliance equilibrium can come to play. See you again. My name is Ralf Ebert. I'm the Compliance Coach, thinking and impacting compliance differently.